Welcome to the class. Today I would like to discuss about UV visible spectra of aromatic and heteroaromatic compounds. In the earlier lectures we discussed about the instrumentation, principle and absorption shifts, factors affecting absorption shifts and Woodward-Fisher's rules for calculating lambda max value for dienes, carbonyl compounds, polyenes and particularly aromatic compounds. In this lecture I would like to discuss the detailed information of UV spectra of aromatic and heteroaromatic compounds. So, first of all, let me take UV spectra of aromatic compounds. In the aromatic category, I am taking benzene is a standard compound. Generally, benzene exhibits very strong light absorption near 180 nanometers. Okay. So, at 180 nanometers, benzene exhibits a very strong light absorption. Generally benzene can exhibit 3 bands in the UV visible spectrum. One band is at 180 nanometers and other 2 bands are at 200 nanometer and 254 nanometers. So, these are the possible bands that are possible for benzene, as all these bands are having So, in the benzene only we are finding these bands. So, benzene, which is an aromatic compound, it consists of ethylenic double bonds and it is having benzenoid system. That means these 3 bands, among these 3 bands, one band, that is this is the band which is at 254 nanometer is said to be benzenoid band, and the bands which are at 180 nanometer and 200 nanometer, they are said to be ethylenic double bonds. Among these 2 ethylenic double bonds, we will categorize 180 nanometer band is E1 band and 200 nanometer band as E2 band. Okay, for just the clarification of ethylenic double bonds, the band which is present at 180 nanometers must be E1 band and the band that is present at 200 nanometers is E2 band. If suppose you observe the intensity of the bands, so this is the appearance of bands at different wavelengths. Once you know the bands, then the very next idea is to find the intensity of the band. If you observe the band which is E1 band, which is at 180 nanometer, this band will be a strong band and it will give high intensity. The band must show higher intensity and the intensity which is greater than 65,000. This is the intensity, that means the band must be highly intense band. Among these 2 ethylenic double bonds, among these 2 ethylenic bands, one band is highly intense band and the other band is observed at 200 nanometers and the intensity of this band is just 8000. So, the epsilon will be observed at 8000. So, this is the indication of E2 band of benzene, and if you come to the band which is at 254 nanometers and it is having very less intensity, just 240. So, lesser intense bond it is, that is benzenoid band. So, the band which is at 180 nanometer is stronger and strengthier band, and the band that is at 200 nanometer and 254 nanometer, they both are weak bands. Okay, so 180 nanometer band is strong band, 200 and 254 nanometer bands, these two bands are weak bands. Among these two, 200 nanometer is weak band and 250 nanometer is weaker band. So weak bands are 2, strong band is 1. So E1 band is strong, E2 band is weak, and B band, that is benzenoid band, is a weaker band. And this E2 and benzenoid B band, these two are result from forbidden transitions. As they are results from forbidden transitions only, the intensity of the peak is very less. So that's why they are very less in intensity. Okay, right. Now the added conjugation. So here this entire concept is applicable for just benzene. If at all benzene is fused with another benzene ring, then the system is said to be naphthalene. The added conjugation. So when benzene is fused with another benzene, then there must be the extension of conjugation. If at all one more benzene ring is attached to naphthalene, then we set the compound as anthracene. If at all anthracene is fused with another benzene ring, then it must be a tetracene. If you keep on observing the benzene to tetracene, benzene to naphthalene, extending of conjugation. Okay, here I will draw the structure of benzene, and when benzene is fused with another benzene ring, so this ring, inside ring indicates the delocalization of double bonds. So naphthalene, so if you consider naphthalene, you are finding the extension of conjugation, and if you consider anthracene, so in the case of anthracene also you are finding extension of conjugation. For tetracene molecule also you will find extension of conjugation. As we know in the earlier classes that due to the presence of extension of a conjugation, the spectra that will show bathochromic shift, that means increase in the wavelength of the compound. That means benzene, which is having lambda max at so and so value that we know actually, that is 255 nanometer. If benzene ring and consider naphthalene, so in between these two, if you take the spectra of both the compounds, benzene and naphthalene, which one would show higher lambda max value? Yes, of course, naphthalene will exhibit higher lambda max value. This is because in the naphthalene we are having benzene ring which is extended by conjugation. So as extension of conjugation is possible, the lambda max value must be increases. If suppose you are comparing the two compounds, naphthalene and anthracene, what about the lambda max? Which one will show higher lambda max? Yes, of course, anthracene will exhibit higher lambda max due to extension of conjugation. So this is the way of applying the factors with aromatic compounds. Okay, right. Now, so in the earlier slide we are discussing only with the aromatic compounds, naphthalene, benzene, tetracene and anthracene, like that. So due to conjugation we are explaining the concept, and here I am taking the spectra of substituted aromatic compounds. Generally, benzene is treated as a chromophore. That means at a particular lambda max value, if at all benzene is exposed to UV radiation at a particular lambda max value, it can show the absorption. So that means benzene is acting as a chromophore. Now, if at all substitution is possible, if benzene ring is substituted by any group, suppose alkyl group. So, take benzene ring and any one of the hydrogen, if suppose I am substituting this hydrogen by a simple alkyl group, and here this is the prior case, that is unsubstituted one. This is benzene and this is substituted benzene. Before the substitution, benzene will exhibit lambda max at 255 nanometers. So, this is the standard one. After the substitution, what about the UV spectra of that substituted benzene? On substitution at particular place, okay, on substitution with an alkyl group. So, alkyl group means if it is methyl group or ethyl group or any propyl or whatever the group, okay, and the on substitution by a alkyl group, it produces bathochromic shift of B band. So, B band means a benzenoid band. For the case of B band, you will experience the increase in the lambda max value for the compound. That means you can find bathochromic shift. Okay, as the lambda max value increases, we can name the shift as bathochromic shift, or simply it is red shift. So, alkylation of benzene. Okay, so simple question, alkylation of benzene will exhibit bathochromic shift. This is the statement I am giving. So, on alkylation, you are enhancing and you are finding the enhancement of lambda max value. Okay, that is the statement. Now, I am asking that why the shift takes place towards higher lambda max value. Yes, of course. So, here of course CH3 I am taking a methyl benzene, which is commonly known as toluene. So, if suppose toluene you are considering, benzene which is converted to toluene, here carbon which is linked to 3 hydrogen atoms. Now, due to the effect of hyperconjugation, so here carbon can exhibit hyperconjugation. Due to the hyperconjugation, the bond pair of electrons are moving towards inside the ring. So, that is why there is a possibility of conjugation. So, extension of conjugation is possible. As the conjugation is extended, then we know that the shift must be red shift or bathochromic shift. So, that is why on alkylation of benzene, you will experience bathochromic shift. Okay, right. Oxochromic substitution of benzene ring shifts E and B bands to longer wavelengths, of course. So, here CH3 is acting as an oxochrome. As we know that benzene is a chromophore. When oxochrome interacts with a chromophore, then there must be the internal mechanism takes place. As a result, you will get a new chromophore. A new chromophore is resulting with increase in the lambda max. So, it is exhibiting red shift. Okay. For the case of E band and B band, you will find the increase in the lambda max values. Okay. Now, come to UV spectra of heterocyclic compounds. So, aromatic compounds are taken, substituted aromatic compounds are taken. Now, I am taking heterocyclic compounds. So, heterocyclic compounds are saturated compounds and also unsaturated compounds. So, first of all, I am taking saturated compounds. So, saturated compounds, in the saturated category, 5-membered and 6-membered heterocyclics, they are extensively non-aromatic. Okay, saturated 5-membered and 6-membered heterocyclics are non-aromatic. As the compounds are non-aromatic, they cannot give the particular lambda max values in the UV visible region. So, for example, here I am considering tetrahydrofuran, tetrahydropyran, tetrahydrothiophene, piperidine, piperazine. So, these all the compounds are saturated 5 and 6-membered heterocyclics. So, that is why they absorb below 200 nanometers. So, below 200 nanometers, and this is due to N2 sigma star transition, because the compounds are saturated compounds, there is no unsaturation. So, there is no unsaturation. Carbon which is bonded to a heteroatom, oxygen or sulfur or nitrogen. So, for this case, carbon which is bonded to oxygen by a single bond, and oxygen which is bearing lone pair of electrons. So, that is why non-bonding electrons are involved in the transition. As a result, you will get N2 sigma star transitions, and these transitions are absorbed below 200 nanometers. Below 200 nanometer means the range is vacuum UV region. So, that is why there is no possibility of absorption in the UV visible region. So, it will be at a vacuum UV region. So, that means they will not found specific spectra. Which compounds? Saturated 5-membered and 6-membered heterocyclics. Now, come to another category, pyridine and quinoline produces UV spectra which is similar to those obtained from related benzenoid compounds, and these two compounds are aromatic compounds. As these two are aromatic, that is heteroaromatic compounds, they can produce a similar spectra of its related benzenoid compounds. Now, let me take a 5-membered heterocyclic compounds and also 6-membered heterocyclic compounds. So, here I am considering 5-membered heterocyclics. Generally, 5-membered heterocyclic aromatic compounds are expected to give pi to pi star and N to pi star transitions. So, this is the expectation actually, but they exhibit only pi to pi star transitions, and N to pi star transitions are not yet observed for the case of 5-membered heterocyclic compounds. Okay, right. So, oxochromic or chromophoric substitution of 5-membered heterocyclic compounds causes bathochromic shift and hyperchromic shift. So, here I am denoting both the shifts, because whenever bathochromic shift is possible, in addition to bathochromic shift, you will find hyperchromic shift also, as it is already given to you. Okay. So, for the case of heterocyclic compounds, if at all they substituted, particularly for 5-membered heterocyclic compounds like thiophene, furan and pyrrole, okay, if suppose any substitution at any place, if the substitution is taken place, simply I will take pyrrole, Okay, so pyrrole molecule I am drawing. So if suppose converting pyrrole into 2-methyl pyrrole, so yes, pyrrole is taken and it is converted to 2-methyl pyrrole. So what effect it must be? It must be bathochromic shift. As in the case of earlier phenomenon, here also there is a possibility of exhibiting yes, what that? Yes, hyperconjugation effect. So due to the possibility of hyperconjugation effect, there must be the extra stability for the compound. So that's why the compound must exhibit a longer wavelength in the UV visible spectra. So this compound will exhibit higher wavelength than compared to this one, unsubstituted one. So substitution will makes bathochromic shift as well as hyperchromic shift for the case of heteroaromatic compounds also, and this is for 5-membered heterocyclics. Now I am considering 6-membered heterocyclic compounds. So pyridine, if you take pyridine, pyridine is isoelectronic with benzene and its spectra is almost superimposable with the compound, that is pyridine. Okay, and symmetry forbidden band of benzene. So symmetry forbidden band of benzene means it is nothing but a benzenoid band. So benzenoid band which is observed at 254 nanometer, that band is forbidden band, and that band is allowed in the case of pyridine. So for the case of pyridine, that benzenoid band is allowed band, but that is forbidden band in the case of benzene. It is due to lower symmetry of nitrogen atom. That means in the place of carbon we are substituting nitrogen. As we are substituting nitrogen atom, the symmetry must be lowered. As the symmetry is lowered, the forbidden band get converts to allowed band. So that's why the forbidden band of benzene is allowed band for the case of pyridine. So this is the only variation in the spectra of pyridine and benzene. If at all a mixture is given, this must be a elucidation, okay, a evidence for determining which one is pyridine and which one is benzene. And also the band is almost 10 times more intense than benzene. So in the case of benzene, it is just only 240, very less intense or weaker band, but that band is most intense band at about 10 times more intense than benzene. That means it will be at around 2400. So epsilon of this band must be at 2400. And effect of substitution of alkyl substituent causes hyperchromic shift. So hyperchromic shift means increase in the intensity. Yes, here you are already explained that intensity will be enhanced by 10 times more than that of benzene. That means increase in the intensity means there is observance of hyperchromic shift. So effect of substitution of alkyl substituent causes hyperchromic shift. Hyperchromic shift is observed means in addition to hyperchromic shift there must be bathochromic shift is also possible. Okay, in the case of pyrrole, pyridine is also exhibits the on substitution with alkyl substituent, it will promote the lambda max values at a higher range. That means bathochromic shift is possible as well as hyperchromic shift is also possible. Now I am discussing UV spectrum as a practical guide. That means if at all you are having a practical session, these points will be helpful in the determination of what type of functional groups are present in the compound. First, let me take the point, that is a single band of low to medium intensity at epsilon 100 to 10,000 at lambda max less than 220 nanometers. Okay, so lambda max less than 220 nanometers, and the band is of low to medium intensity, and the value must be 100 to 10,000. Such data will give us the idea that it indicates that an N to sigma star transition is possible. Okay, if at all such a data is provided, these data is corresponds to N to sigma star transition. So N to sigma star transition means which type of compounds can exhibit N to sigma star transition? Alcohols, alkyl halides, amines, etc. A carbon which is linked to a heteroatom in a saturation form, then those compounds will exhibit N to sigma star transition. So by seeing this data, we will conclude that the transition must be N to sigma star, and we will categorize the compound as maybe it is alcohol, maybe it is an amine, or maybe it is an alkyl halide. Depending upon other reactions, we will conclude finally. So this is a prior step in the structural determination of an unknown organic compound. Now, yes, one more point is given. A single band of low intensity. So here specifically I am stressing the point that low intensity. In the above point, low to medium intensity, and here values are also given 100 to 10,000, and here the value is 10 to 100. That means a very low intense band in the region of 250 to 252, okay, yes, so 250 to 360 nanometers. Okay, the band which is present at 250 to 360 nanometers, and the intensity must be low intensity with no major absorption at shorter wavelengths. So by this data will usually indicates an N to pi star transition. Okay, so lambda max is more and the intensity is less here. So this data will reveal us the information that the compound contain N to pi star transition. So N to pi star transition means which type of compounds can exhibit N to pi star transition? Generally carbonyl compounds, nitro compounds, substituted carbonyl compounds, alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds, carboxylic acids, etc. So they will come under the category N to pi star transitions. So by looking the data, we can categorize the type of compound. Now I am going to next point, two bands of medium intensity. So here a single band of low intensity, a single band of low to medium intensity, and here you are finding the data, that is two bands of medium intensity. Both the two bands are observing at medium intensity at 10,000 to 10,000 with lambda max above 200 nanometers. Generally, this data will give us the information that a presence of an aromatic system. So, for the aromatic system, you will find two bands of medium intensity. So, two bands of medium intensity and the lambda max, which is above 200 nanometers, generally indicates the presence of an aromatic system in the compound. And next, the bands of high intensity. So, here intensity is high. So, the bands of high intensity generally 10,000 to 20,000 that appear above 210 nanometers generally represent an alpha beta unsaturated ketone. So, this data which is having higher intense band and which is appear above 210 nanometer, generally it indicates the presence of alpha beta unsaturated ketone. So, particularly ketone, alpha beta unsaturated ketone, a diene or a polyene. So, maybe these are the compounds that are possible for the data given. And next one is simple ketones, acids means carboxylic acids, esters, amides and other compounds containing both pi systems and unshared electron pairs, that means non-bonding electrons, show two absorptions. One is at N2 pi star transition at longer wavelength, that is greater than 300 nanometer with low intensity, and another one is pi to pi star transition at shorter wavelengths, that means less than 250 nanometers with high intensity. Okay. So, whenever you are having such a data, two bands, that is N2 pi star band and pi to pi star band, and N2 pi star band is greater than 300 nanometer with low intensity, pi to pi star band with less than 250 nanometer with high intensity. Such a data will fit for the compounds simple ketones, carboxylic acids, esters, amides and other compounds. Okay. Whatever the compounds that may fit. And next one is compounds that are highly colored are likely to contain a long chain conjugated system or a polycyclic aromatic chromophore. That means chromophores that are having colored compounds. So, the color is due to the presence of a long chain conjugated system. So, simply for polyenes. So, beta carotene, as we already discussed, one of the polyene which exhibit the color orange color, it is due to presence of a long chain conjugated system or a polycyclic aromatic chromophore. So, the color observance will also give us the information that the which type of compound it is it polyene or a polycyclic aromatic chromophore. So, by seeing this data, it will be very helpful for us in the determination of an unknown organic compound, that is specifically for the structure determination of an unknown organic compound. So, by this we are ending the session. So, in this lecture totally we are explaining the aromaticity, that is UV visible spectra of aromatic compounds and substituted aromatic compounds, heterocyclic compounds and substituted heterocyclic compounds, and also how to find out the or how to find a functional group in the practical session. So, by this I am concluding the session. Thank you. Thanks for giving this opportunity.